Yeah, that part.
Good
yeah.
morning, everyone, and we'll welcome you to the October 21st, 2025 meeting of the Calvert County Board of Commissioners. At this time, I'd like to ask Pastor Osterfeld if she'd come forward to give us an invocation. Good morning.
Good morning.
Right there, yes,
Yep, right here. All right.
Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me. I'm Reverend Jen Tabor Osterfeld of Huntingtown United Methodist Church, and I'm honored to be here today. If you would bow with me for prayer. Lord God, on this beautiful day in Calvert County, fill this room of our leaders with your spirit. Grant them wisdom and courage to make the hard decisions. We live in a place blessed with diversity, and so remind us that as leaders, our responsibility is to see the world through your eyes. Keep open hearts and minds, remembering that all people are created in your image. Keep before us the sacred task of servant leadership, drawing us close to one another so we can lean more into what we have in common than we do different. Help us to be good stewards of what we have. Bless our county with abundance where it is needed. Remove evil from our midst and help us to see all people, especially those in our that our world pushes to the margins. As leaders, remind us to cherish the elderly, train up the children, and help the helpless, and to love all because they are beloved by you. Make this time together fruitful and productive. We give thanks for all that you have done in our midst, and we ask all this in the name of Jesus, who was the example of the leadership we should follow. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, thank you, Reverend Osterfield. We really appreciate you coming in for us this morning. Next item on the agenda is to approve the agenda. Is there any corrections or additions to the agenda as presented?
I don't believe so. Make a motion that we approve the agenda submitted.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I do have a couple of public service announcements today. Calvert County is going to participate in the National Drug Take Back Day on Saturday, October 25th, which is this coming Saturday, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Southern Community Center and the Northeast Community Center. The Southern Community Center is located at 20 Appeal Lane in Lusby. The Northeast Community Center is located at 4075 Gordon Sennett Avenue in Chesapeake Beach. Residents are encouraged to safely dispose of unused or expired medications by dropping them off at either location. Law enforcement officers and volunteers from the Calvert Alliance Against Substance Abuse and the Calvert Behavioral Health will be on hand to assist with collection and provide resource information. For those unable to participate on October 25th, there are 3 24/7 medication drop boxes are available year-round at the following locations: the Calvert County Sheriff's Office on 30 Church Street here in Prince Frederick, the Maryland State Police Barrack U on 210 Main Street in Prince Frederick, and the Calvert County CSO Dunkirk Station, which is the old bank at the corner of Ferry Landing Road. And the address for that is 10500 Southern Maryland Boulevard in Dunkirk. The next item on the public service announcement list today is Linda Kelly Animal Shelter will hold an October adoption promotion called Ghouls Just Want to Have Home. Starting today through Friday, October 31st, you can come in and adopters can draw a prize from a spooky cauldron to win a waived adoption fee, half-off adoption fee, or a treat bag filled with candy. Animals of all ages are available for adoption, including dogs, cats, rabbits, roosters, pigs, and more. Adoptions include spade or neuter surgery, microchipping, age-appropriate vaccinations, and a starter care package. So that will run through Friday, October 31st. And that will lead us into our animal shelter animal of the week. Oh, bless you.
What do you got here today?
Good morning. This here is Rocky. He was surrendered to us about 5 weeks ago. He is a really good boy. He's about 9.5 years old. So he's on the senior side, but he's still got some spunk in him.
He knows what his treats are.
Oh yeah, he's been sniffing my pocket. But no, he's a really good boy. He's said to be good with kids and other animals. We just recommend slow and proper introductions for a period of time just to make that transition smooth. He's also said to be housebroken and crate trained, but obviously he would need some time to get into a good routine.
Hi, buddy.
But yeah, he's a sweetheart. He's one of our volunteer favorites. They love walking him, and that's what he wants to do. He just wants to walk and sniff, and
How long
a
have you had him again?
He's been with us for about 5 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, so a little bit of time.
And he's housebroke?
He's said to be, yeah, and he does pretty good in his kennel. So we think,
It's tough.
we think
because
it'll
it's a
be-
new introduction and it's
Yeah.
loud and it's, you know.
yeah. So he's a good boy. Yeah, he can do it.
He does really good for treats.
You know what's in there, don't you, Rocky?
So if you're interested in adopting Rocky, just come on down. We're there Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 4. And if not,
How's you doing on population down there?
we're doing okay. We have a lot of we have a lot of kittens,
Okay.
like a lot of kittens. So anybody who wants some kittens, come on down, draw from your cauldron, and see what
Well, you know, Christmas time coming up, you know, so many people feel they have to buy, you know,
Yeah.
a pet, and there's no reason to.
No, just
so.
come adopt. Come
Yeah.
adopt. So they would love a good home for Christmas too. So.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Do you
come
know,
on down.
do you know what kind of mix the dog is? It looks like it has pit in it,
Probably a little bit, but we're not positive. He's
Okay.
just a mixed breed. Yeah.
and his snout is gray.
Yeah. I'm getting old.
What, did somebody just drop him off?
Yeah, he was surrendered. I think they just housing changes.
I don't
so.
get that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if I'm living in a box, there's room for my dog in that box. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't get that.
But he'll find his forever home too. I'm sure.
Yeah.
He's a good boy. So.
And he'll be free for adoption until we meet again.
Yep. All right.
Don't even have to draw out of the cauldron.
Nope. He's just good to go.
Unless you want a
Good to
bag
go.
of candy.
Well, yeah. Draw it just in case, and then maybe you'll get that bag of candy.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Well, thank you for bringing
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the next item on the agenda today is consent. We have 2 items under consent today. Item 1, Department of Community Resources Memorandum of Agreement with Community Ministry of Calvert County and 3 Oaks Center and Budget Adjustment. Item 2, Department of Public Parks and Recreation Simplified Buffer Management Plan for Flag Ponds Nature Park. Are there any objections to those items listed under consent today?
I'm done.
Mr. President, I move that we adopt and approve the consent agenda items.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on that motion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is a presentation, Department of Parks and Recreation, Edward T. Hall Aquatic Center HVAC and roof replacement. Director Brown? Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bob Branham, Director of Parks and Recreation.
Good morning, Brandon Medea, Aquatics Division Chief.
Good morning, Commissioners. Zachary Bricky, Aquatics Facility Manager.
Good morning.
Good morning.
If it pleases the Commissioners, we'd like to read the memo for the Aquatic Center HVAC and roof replacement project. Background, the Edward T. Hall Aquatic Center requires replacement of its aging HVAC systems and the installation of new thermoplastic polyolefin roofing system. These upgrades are necessary to maintain the safety, efficiency, and long-term viability of the county's primary aquatic facility. Discussion. Calvert County is utilizing the Sourcewell Indefinite Delivery, Indefinite Quantity Contract number MDR4GC 030425 CCE with Centennial Contractors Enterprises Incorporated to complete this project. Centennial has provided a final detailed scope of work and proposal dated August 27, 2025. The replacement of the HVAC systems and the TPO roofing. The proposal includes all required mechanical, electrical, roofing, and scaffolding work. Work order number 143818 establishes a firm, fixed price and includes liquidated damages of $500 per day for delays beyond the agreed schedule. The fiscal impact. The total cost of the project is $5,809,450. Funds are budgeted and available for this project within the Capital Improvement Plan CIP 000105, Hall Aquatic Center, HVAC, and roof replacement. Conclusion and recommendation. The Edward T. Hall Aquatic Center is Calvert County's premier aquatic facility, serving as a vital resource for recreation, fitness, therapy, and competitive programs. Replacing the failing HVAC systems and installing a new TPO roof are essential to maintaining safety, efficiency, and reliability. Without these upgrades, the center faces potential closures, safety concerns, and loss of public trust with each shutdown, which averages, and I do want to note a discrepancy in here. We stated $21,000 per day in lost revenue. That is actually $21,000 per week in lost revenue. So we will be making that correction and officially submitting that here. So with averaging $21,000 per week in lost revenue. Proactive replacement will preserve the facility's integrity, reduce future costs, improve energy efficiency, and ensure compliance with safety and health standards. Staff requests the Board of County Commissioners to review and, if appropriate, approve the award of work order number 143818 to Centennial Contractors Enterprises Incorporated under Sourcewell contract number MDR4GC 030425 CCE in the amount of $5,809,450 that is funded through Capital Improvement Plan CIP 00105. Hall Aquatic Center HVAC and roof replacement. If there are any questions, we'd be willing to take those. Otherwise, we'd love to begin our presentation.
Why don't you go ahead and go through your presentation?
Okay. All right. Calvert County Parks and Recreation Aquatics Division is excited to have the opportunity to share information about the anticipated and much-needed renovation project for the Edward T. Hall Aquatic Center. Since opening its doors back in 2010, the Edward T. Hall Aquatic Center has made a splash in our community. We continuously welcomed swimmers, athletes, families, and friends for 15 incredible years of fitness, fun, and connection. This facility, like many parks and recreation amenities, has been a gathering place for our community. Like any well-used and well-loved facility, it's now time for some much-needed TLC to ensure it continues serving Calvert County residents for decades to come. This morning, we'd like to take you behind the scenes of our upcoming renovation project. We will share why it's needed, what's being upgraded, and how we'll keep the community afloat during the temporary closure. Think of this as our pool refresh story, one that ends with a stronger, safer, and more energy-efficient aquatic center ready to dive into the future. Since 2010, the Edward T. Hall Aquatic Center has become much more than just a building. From swim lessons and swim teams to fitness classes and family fun, this facility has served countless residents over the years and continues to be a cornerstone of recreation in Calvert County. But like any facility that sees that much daily use, time and wear start to catch up. To make sure the aquatic center remains safe, efficient, and enjoyable for years to come, a major refresh is needed. Throughout this presentation, we'll share the rationale behind the closure, explain our timeline, and outline how we will continue serving the community through alternative swim locations, extended passes, and clear communication channels. When the work is done, we'll be reopening the doors to a facility that's brighter, safer, and more energy efficient, ready to make an even bigger splash with the next generation of swimmers. So why the closure is needed? We recognize the Aquatic Center is a vital part of Calvert County's recreation network. We're a hub for community engagement. We have programming for all ages and abilities. But after 15 years of continuous operation, several of the critical mechanical systems are nearing or have reached their intended lifespans. As currently outlined and structured, this project includes a full replacement of the HVAC system, roof structure, and internal lighting. This work is essential for not only for continued safe operation, but also for improving the efficiency and reducing long-term maintenance costs. Many of these systems now rely on outdated components, with replacement parts either unavailable or requiring custom production. This renovation will address these issues comprehensively, ensuring we have a modern, energy-efficient, and sustainable future for that facility. think we lost the slide here. Okay, so equipment to be replaced and modernization benefits. The Edward T. Hall Aquatic Center renovation will focus heavily on core infrastructure renewal. This is the HVAC system, roof structure, and lighting systems, which are each undergoing full replacement to bring the facility up to modern standards. The new HVAC system will provide improved air handling and humidity control, addressing both comfort and corrosion prevention. Currently, the facility's HVAC system is operating at less than 50% of the required capacity to adequately heat and cool the facility. This is most notably felt during periods of intense heat and cold, but issues are also being shared daily based on the warm days and cool nights of the fall season here currently. Many of the people in this room have frequently heard from county residents and user groups about the ongoing heating and cooling issues in the Aquatic Center. Notably, last spring, a swim meet had to be canceled because the current HVAC system was unable to properly cool the facility to meet required thresholds. More recently this fall, errors in the control system, faulty equipment, and incorrectly operating sensors sent temperatures inside the facility soaring despite the outdoor temperatures being significantly cooler. These problems are occurring despite the frequent attention and service that's being completed on the aging systems to keep this facility operating. Next is the roof replacement. This will strengthen the building envelope, improve insulation, and ensure long-term resilience against environmental elements. The current roof structure cannot function as it was originally intended. When the facility was designed, the roof panels were configured to provide additional ventilation via moving panels that could be opened and closed. Due to mechanical issues, parts no longer being available, the overall age of the roofing material, and the roofing slope, ongoing repairs for these features was just deemed unjustifiable. Additionally, the overall appearance and the thermal capacity of the roof panels has degraded over time. As with any roofing system, these features have a designated lifespan at which replacement becomes necessary. Finally, the upgraded LED lighting will reduce energy consumption and create a brighter, safer swimming environment. Currently, the lights being utilized in the natatorium provide an admirable lifespan per bulb. However, once this bulb does burn out, we have no reasonable opportunity for replacement on an as-needed basis. All of the lights are currently hung directly over the bodies of water in the facility, and replacement of these only becomes possible during our annual facility closure due to the need to erect scaffolding within the pool shell to make corrections on these fixtures. Collectively, these changes enhance the sustainability, the comfort, and the visual quality of the entire aquatic center. These planned upgrades will enable the facility to operate more reliably, to maintain ideal climate control, and to provide an enhanced experience for all patrons, ensuring both our investment in the facility and that continues into the future so we continue to serve the community for years to come. Lead times on equipment orders. One of the key logistical aspects of the Edward T. Hall Aquatic Center renovation is the lead time for specialized equipment. Currently, the pool dehumidification units, which are critical for managing facility-wide heating, cooling, and dehumidification, can take between 6 to 8 months to arrive from the time they're ordered. The rooftop HVAC units typically require 2 to 3 months to arrive on site from the time they're ordered. So to reduce the risk of delays, we're working with the project team to implement a pre-staging plan. Equipment will be delivered ahead of the May 2026 closure and securely stored on site. This approach enables contractors to begin work immediately upon shutdown, helping to minimize downtime in the overall project. Effective supply chain coordination and early procurement are central to keeping our October 2026 reopening timeline on track. Delays in any of these components could affect the entire schedule, which is why we're planning well in advance. Understanding the timeline for this renovation is crucial for planning and communication as well. The Aquatic Center is projected to officially close to the public on May 1, 2026. Leading up to this, the site will undergo equipment staging and initial prep work to ensure a swift transition into construction mode. The renovation window will span from May through October of 2026, with targeted completion and reopening during the month of October. This allows sufficient time for complex system replacements, including the mentioned HVAC and structural upgrades, while also accounting for any potential delays in the supply chain or weather-related issues. Many options were explored when this project plan was being developed. The decision to request moving forward with one extended closure was not made lightly, and we ultimately had 6 factors that were contributing to the final decision. We're looking at the cost efficiency of the project. Completing all major systems in one single coordinated phase significantly reduces the overall project costs associated with this. Structural and mechanical coordination, the roof, the HVAC, and lighting systems are all physically and functionally integrated, meaning that one depends on the others. Replacing one system without addressing the others can and will cause rework, potential damage, and inefficiency later down the road. Safety concerns. Conducting construction in smaller phases around active operations introduces many, many safety risks for both patrons and staff involved in the project. Scheduling and efficiency. An extended closure allows for faster completion and better quality control. Uninterrupted access to the building avoids complex sequencing and downtime between phases. It also avoids repeated closures that might otherwise disrupt programs, memberships, and public trust multiple times throughout the project. We looked at the patron and community impact. A single extended closure is more manageable and transparent for the community than numerous ongoing disruptions. The community and programs can plan around one defined outage period. We're hoping to minimize confusion, refund processing, and public frustration with repeated interruptions. And finally, the long-term reliability of the project. A unified project addresses interconnected infrastructure comprehensively, ensuring that all new systems are commissioned together and optimized for long-term performance, which extends the facility lifespan. We are committed to keeping the public informed about any changes to this timeline through frequent updates across our communication channels and ensuring transparency throughout this entire process. Patron communication plan. Transparent and proactive communication is essential during this closure. The Department of Parks and Recreation has designated a multi-channel communication strategy that will reach all affected groups effectively. Press releases will provide official updates, while social media and website updates will deliver timely information to the broader community. Print signage at the facility and outdoor pools will help keep walk-in patrons informed as well. Pass holders will receive direct messaging via email and other methods, allowing them to review refund and extension options, and at the same time, high-impact user groups such as swim teams, therapy providers, and aquatics clubs will be contacted individually to ensure a tailored message and service continuity wherever possible.
Good morning, everyone. Yet again, my name is Zachary Bricky. I've had the privilege of serving the local community as the aquatics facility manager for the past 3.5 years. Moving forward, we will discuss the impact and opportunities brought about in light of the project. So, some seasonal swim meet locations during the closure. While our indoor pool may be rendered unusable during this time, we thankfully will still be able to offer other aquatic experiences through our neighboring outdoor facilities, one of which being Kings Landing Pool, located at the south end of the county, or north end of the county, sorry, and then the other one being Cove Point Pool, located at the southern end. Both pools will be expected to offer their services immediately after the closure of the indoor pool and hope to provide concurrent options. As it stands, Kings Landing Pool will focus primarily on programs to include public swim lessons, water fitness, and modified lessons during the closure. Cove Point Pool, being the larger of the two facilities, will focus more on community swim needs, with other programming likely to take place. These facilities, as they have in years past, will proudly offer continued standards of service, with staff to be scheduled and areas to be supervised. Moving forward, feel free to remain updated with any and all updates to the schedule through all offered communication platforms. Swim pass options during the closure. So, with the decrease of services, our main priority is to ensure all users of the facility are considered and not disadvantaged. One of the most common ways we provide accessible visitation for our community is through pass sales, in which we provide punch passes, annual passes, and seasonal passes. Any customers of CCPR who have purchased a pass that will be impacted by the extended closure will look forward to being offered a series of options that can either be an extension of their pass equivalent to the time beyond our normal annual closure, or proportionally prorate with a direct refund. We hope that between these two options, all customers are given the opportunity to select the option that best suits their needs. In regard to the decision-making process, all pass holders will be contacted directly with clear instructions on how to select their preferred option and deadlines for their response. For those that don't know, CCPR proudly works alongside the Board of Education within MOU terms and hosts practices and swim meets for all high schools within the county. Thankfully, the season routinely starts mid-November and ends by February, so the anticipated closure should have no impact on this season or the next. Additionally, CCPR will work with our largest partner, the Calvert Aquatics Club, whom uses the pool most days of the week. While CCPR is committed to collaborating with the club, we entrust some schedule modifications and logistics to the club's leadership. Within mutual planning, we are confident that the club endeavors can continue in a modified form.
Hey, Bob, on that slide,
Yes,
I know
sir.
there's some concerns from the aquatics club.
Yes.
So you and I have the experience of going way back, and I don't know aquatics like I know, say, football or baseball. I know, like baseball, there's travel leagues. I seem to get the feel like this is treated almost like a travel league in baseball, and I've always disagreed with I was always a big fan of, like, if I got a kid needs a field, we're finding a field. And, we've always, and Nate was a godsend. When I first got here, Nate really helped break down that barrier, I think, that a lot of coaches felt with and he was just awesome with that. My concern is, like, when I read must adapt its schedule accordingly, you know how sensitive I am with, like, a kid plays Little League, man, it's like he's in the World Series. And I'm assuming it's like the same thing with the swimming, like, and you get one bite at the apple, as you're a kid growing up. I know this is a unique situation. The good thing is you've been through a lot of these type things before, unfortunately. And you will be at the mercy of the weather and everything. But I don't want the aquatics club to be looked at like, well, at the end of the day, if I can find 5 minutes, you got it.
Understood. So I can speak to that if you'd like me
Please.
to now. So we, of course, have the same concerns with not only Calvert Aquatics Club, we have actually 2 seasonal swim teams as well. One
Okay,
at
see,
Kings
that's what I
Landing,
want to hear, right? Okay.
one at Cove Point as well. Obviously, we look to support not only the residents and guests of all of our aquatic facilities, but all of our competitive athletes as well. We just have to balance what we can offer. Other things that are equally as critical in a county that is a peninsula, and I know that you've heard me say this before, in all of our surveys, swim instruction is critical in this county, and all of our residents comment on that. So we offer the largest amount and certify the most Red Cross swim lessons in the state of Maryland. It makes sense as to who we are and where we live. We have fitness instruction. We have Calvert Aquatics Club. We have a litany of others. We have a therapy group by way of contract that uses the indoor pool. So our desire is to balance what we have available to us at both of the outdoor facilities to ensure everybody gets a small piece of the pie, because there's just not that large of a pie to divide up. So while we do have a need to support the aquatics club specifically, is who I think you're talking about, we also have to support the other endeavors that we offer through aquatics through this closure. And we plan to do that as best we can.
Now-
Everyone's not going to get everything that they want, and if we could, we would. But we do look to support everybody as best we can with what we have to work with.
I know it's not ours, but is there any opportunity to reach out down to the Naval Rec Center? They have an indoor facility there. I know it's military, but a lot of times I know they have outsourced things. Do we have an opportunity to speak to them about some of these therapeutic things and things that definitely have to be inside, because
We
get to
can.
see-
We can, knowing that hopefully that it would be amenable to some sort of an agreement or an MOU, if you will. But I'm not certain that won't come.
Yeah, I
with
know
a
there's no
price tag.
guarantee from them, but I didn't know if have we reached out to them to see.
We have not yet,
Could
because I
we
know
reach
that
out to them
absolutely.
to see, because they have that facility there.
Sure.
I mean, obviously, there's a few things. We lost the aquatic center. We're at the mercy of the weather.
Yes, sir.
But I know there's going to be some interruption. But
Right.
now, do we have somebody dedicated that these other teams in the aquatic center can pick up the phone and call them? Like, I would get calls, and I call Nate all hours.
Sure.
Nate is on the phone making the field happen same day.
Right.
Do we have somebody dedicated to that, and are they sensitive to it? And I don't want to sound bad here. Do we have the right person in that that's sensitive to that?
So the 2 gentlemen sitting with me here, Brandon is responsible for all of aquatics, as is Zach, actually. But Zach has direct oversight of the indoor facility. But both have demonstrated a passion to support everybody in this. But Zach's been with us a lot longer than 3.5 years. He's only been in his current role for 3.5 years. He's also a swimmer. He understands the needs of a competitive swimmer, but he does have a passion to support all of those folks. And both of these gentlemen are accessible. Like most of us, our phones stay on 24/7. If we can accommodate, we will. And
So
that's the
do
intent.
you have are you currently in contact with the folks from these organizations? I mean, do you currently have a working relationship with them right now, putting together a plan how to accommodate as much as we can?
You're asking on behalf of the Calvert Aquatics Club, Commissioner?
Them and these other.
The outdoor swim teams are our programs. They're seasonal. So they're
Okay.
Parks and Recreation sponsored activities. The therapy group, yes, the therapy group may indeed be displaced because they're going to require certain temperatures in the water as well as certain apparatus within the water that even the NRC might not be able to support.
Yeah, that's what I say. I don't know
Yeah.
what they, because they're who I'm thinking about the therapeutic for down there, which would help take your weight off there. But with the aquatics club, do you have a working relationship with that person? Like, does she have your, or him or her have your phone? And are you putting together a plan right now to make sure?
Yes, Commissioner. We have a actually fantastic relationship with the Calvert Aquatics Club, which I feel like has provided many fruits of its labor throughout the past few weeks. We have a couple of their members here today joining us in the crowd. But throughout these past few weeks, this is a sensitive topic as of right now. It could
'Cause
dislocate.
I'm gonna
these
tell you,
programs.
I'm gonna get the call now.
Uh-huh.
They know I have a kid and all these things. I'm gonna get the call, and when I get the call, I'm gonna call Bob.
Right.
So, because I want every kid, that wants to do this stuff. Now, I like to say this is a unique in my 11 years. We never had to close the facility. So I know there's going to be, but I want to make sure we have that connection.
Right. I feel like we share the same concern on that behalf, Commissioner.
Yes, absolutely. At this point, we've already begun work to establish what our operational capacities for these facilities is going to be. We're exploring what opportunities we have to work outside of what has been perhaps traditional operations and hours for these facilities in the past. So when we come into these conversations, we're able to come into them ahead of the curve a little bit in being able to say, this is the type of programming we're looking to offer. What are your needs? What are your requirements? How are we able to make these schedules work together and have a collaborative conversation to come to an outcome that's going to be agreeable to everybody involved, as well as to be as beneficial to all of the residents and users of these facilities as well.
So the one thing to say for the record, I'm sorry to interrupt, ma'am, is that our desire is to work with everyone as best we can. We can't accommodate everyone for all of their needs. So we're going to try to do our best to work with the facilities that we're going to have afforded to us this summer to ensure that everybody gets some of that time. We just won't have the ability to do everything as we currently do. And that's not about Calvert Aquatics Club or the outdoor swim teams, or it's everything that we entertain through that facility year round.
That's why I was thinking, potentially they may tell us, hey, we're not going to take the liability risk of bringing folks in. But I remember when I was a kid, I actually took my swimming lessons at the Navy place there.
Right.
So I didn't know, and say, hopefully, you guys can maybe get something positive for them to give us another option.
Sure, yeah, I'll reach out to Morel Welfare Recreation, see if there's anything that they can afford us down there, or some type of an arrangement we can work through.
Calvert Aquatics Club, when do they practice?
So,
And
Sorry.
let me just interrupt you for a minute. I know that there are 160 swimmers. What schools do they feed from in Calvert County?
absolutely. So, the neighboring community, so all 4 high schools, I believe, have children that are on their swim teams that also attend the Calvert Aquatics Club. We do have some swimmers that come from as far north as Anne Arundel County, because this is still yet the closest swim team for them. You said there were 160 swimmers, I believe, yeah, and it is still growing. They are a very popular swim team, very prestigious in nature. What was the other part of your question, Commissioner?
When they practice.
When they practice? So they practice about 6 days a week, Monday through Friday on evenings from anywhere between 4 to 8 o'clock. And then on Saturdays, they'll practice from about 8 to 11:30.
Okay. My biggest concern, being a parent of a non-athlete and athletes, and like Commissioner Hart said, this all builds. It all builds, and you're getting closer. Some of them are probably being looked at, scholarships and so on and so forth. That is a large practice window. I'm wondering if we could do something like, my daughter used to be a competitive figure skater, and we were at the rink at 5 a.m. I'm wondering if we could work with times like that to before school for most of the time they won't be in school, but early. We really, and I know we have an awful lot on our plate, but these are our constituents. We have to do our best to accommodate. I mean, many of them are working towards scholarships in school. They're improving their sport. Also, what about they have 4 meets a year? Will you be able to accommodate 4 meets a year, or is that something that you'd only be able to accommodate half?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So for the most part during the summer season, we only provide 1 swim meet, which would be impacted by this closure. However, in light of this project coming about, this stems from a previous swim meet that has been canceled, in which case we never strive to have that affect our constituents in this way. Throughout the summer as well, I forgot to mention, typically we do relocate their practice times to the early morning. I don't know whether that's out of consideration for the parents or for the children, but it's worked out. It's definitely been a great organization we've made with them. So.
And I know we have planning and zoning and what we offer through the county, but I don't want a 10-year partnership to be reduced to second-class citizenry. I want them to rise to the top. I want all consideration that we can give. And if we could go to that Naval Center, that would be wonderful. Let's do all that we can do to accommodate. We have received a lot of letters. I understand it. If they closed down Bowie Ice Rink when our daughter was competing, it would put me in a tailspin. You have to stay consistently on top of your sport, and swimming is a year-round sport.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll have some other questions later.
Just to chime in here, we do want to support the athletes. That's always our desire, is to not only support the athletes, but grow the sport and pick a sport. We're specifically talking about swimming now, but it's anything that we support through Parks and Recreation. And you may not be aware, we do offer things outside of operating hours at the outdoor pools now as well. We do schedule the other swim teams for practice and other considerations for programmable classes outside of our hours of operation, and they do start quite early. And it's not unprecedented, especially during COVID, where we opened extremely early. So we are looking to expand not the hours of operation for drop-in swim in the general public, but for programmable hours to support all this as well. We also plan to open the pool May 1st while it's cold. It's still body water and it's accessible. And I do know some competitive swimmers prefer colder water. Anyhow, it will be chilly. I'm not denying that. But we plan to open May 1st as opposed to Memorial Day. And we plan to extend into September, likely not through the end of October because I don't know that they'd even be able to use the water that long. But we will extend, weather pending, a few weeks beyond when we typically close at Labor Day as well. We are looking at every avenue with the 2 pools that we manage to be able to support everybody as best we can.
Okay. I have other questions
Yes,
later,
ma'am.
but thank you.
So, Bob, my question is going to piggyback on my other 2 fellow commissioners. So when a swim team gets transferred to Cove Point or Kings Landing, will the public be affected? Will there be a total closure of the pool and let the swim team get it? Or, as you said, you're going to entertain everyone?
So we're going to try and balance that to make it fair and equitable. Again, we do support everyone who comes to advocate for themselves. I know there will be people in public comment today, and we understand that. But we have the duty to support and advocate for everyone who uses the facility. So we are going to try, it may minimize some of the public swim to expand some of the practice time for all the swim teams. And even that is not unprecedented. There are times where we close the outdoor pool because we have to host a swim team for the other 2 swim teams as well, or swim meet rather. So we will look to balance all of that again as best we can. Do we know fully what that looks like as I sit here today? No. But we are going to look at everything. So we will have less swim lessons. We will have less fitness classes, but we will still have swim lessons and fitness classes. There may be less time for complete practices for the swim teams, but we will have practices for the swim teams. So we are looking to balance every opportunity through aquatics versus focusing on either CCPR sponsored activity or a swim team or a swim meet or what have you. We want to make sure that we're offering something to everyone.
And I think the key to that is going to be communication.
Yes, sir.
With
Absolutely.
everyone.
And
So-
we do have a current communication plan that we've established through communications and media relations with Aaron, Director Lowe. So
Yep, very good. So let's get back to the money side of it. So this is the first major renovation this facility has had.
aside from reshelling the pools, yes, sir.
So when will the next major
impact be on?
So the pools
the
need to be addressed every 7 to 10 years. So we put that in the capital improvement project plan for 7 to 10 years. So that will be the next large thing that we can foresee or project now. But this, our biggest expense and issue to address over the last 5 years have been HVAC and roof issues, most of it being HVAC. So this project should address all of that, to include even routine maintenance like changing light bulbs.
And like you said before, if you divide it up into three, HVAC, the roof, and the lighting, you'll be talking your major shutdown. So I think this is a good option, so.
Yes, sir. And I don't know if your questions will get to that, but since you brought it up, I will tell you, we rely on the expertise of HVAC master mechanics here in the county, and they are good. We have contracted employees. We have the expertise of buildings and grounds. We are looking at when we will have to shut down due to a catastrophic event versus if. It will happen. We are functioning at less and less capacity with every repair that we do. We're not just doing routine maintenance. We're doing major repairs every year, throughout the year, over the last 5 years. So this is very fiscally responsible and much needed to continue to offer this great amenity to the residents and guests for Calvert County. But it will happen if we do not address it.
Thank you, Bob.
Hey, Bob, I don't want to get into a CIP discussion, but when you're talking about it, in the past, and I know that's a tough facility. When I very first walked in there, I don't know the original architects really understood what they were walking into when they built it. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And I'm not going to go all that.
Understood.
But there was talk years ago about potentially doing an outdoor pool adjacent to it right there on the property. I know that's money that we're not, I don't want to get a CIP thing today. Is that still simmering around anywhere for future CIP discussions?
There's nothing in current CIP 6-year plan to develop or add a body of water or splash pad or any other amenities at the Hall Aquatic Center site currently.
Okay, because I know as Prince Frederick grows and kids and, it's, that facility, is really, it needs help, and,
Sure.
and like I say, I know that had been discussed, there was, but I didn't know. Because if you had that today, that would really lessen a lot of this discussion we're having now.
Well, you said you didn't want to bring it up, but you opened this can of worms. So if you'd like it to be added, it could certainly be added to the CIP for the
It's something maybe
consideration.
we can talk, because
And not
you
just
know
there,
me,
though.
I'm an entrepreneur. When I look at it, I want it to make money. Just like with the clubhouse down there, and I welcome all the beatings from that. I'll take that all day long. I said it 11 years ago. I'll say it today. That place could make money because it did make money when I was a kid, and guess what? It makes money today, and I'm not going to apologize for that being a fine facility. It just took a while to get there. This could be a nice focal point. It would be once again, it would take an initial investment, but the long-term payout.
Our outdoor pools are certainly more successful than the indoor facility, and that's not unique to us. Natatoriums and indoor facilities don't make money. They are
They're
a
tough.
great
They're
service
tough.
to your residents.
Sure.
But we also have the development of Harriet Elizabeth Brown. So if that was a consideration in the future of the board, we could look to see what is better suited. Maybe the Watson property where the HEB would be built, which also supports a park, similar to Cove Point or Kings where you have a pool within a park, or even the footprint at the land there at the Hall Aquatic Center. I don't know what would be better suited to add an outdoor facility, but we could certainly entertain the board's desire to address that, but I'm sure that would be in out years.
Bob, it sounds like you and your team have some solutions, and there's going to be other things at Riverhead. We know that. There's a lot of controversy surrounding this, but I believe Commissioner Hart, Mr. Grass, and Commissioner Cox addressed a lot of those. Some of the other stuff that I've seen that's controversial, people have questions on. Let's start. Why was Centennial awarded this project?
So it's a nationally bid contract, a Sourcewell contract. So it does demonstrate fiscal responsibility for getting the best deal, but it also expedites an urgent project. This is an urgent project. We don't have faith that if we do not have it addressed sooner rather than later, that we will not have a catastrophic failure and have to close the pool entirely. So we are permitted to award a contract this way. It does prove to be fiscally responsible, but it also expedites the bidding process. And by nature of bidding a job, sending out an ITB, an RFP, whatever the case may be, that is a lengthy process that can oftentimes take multiple months just for the bid process. So if we did it that way, that would extend the repairs to this facility even further out. So we have done our due diligence to ensure that we've selected the right contract, which is also supported by state and local regulations.
All right, so your timeline, I mean, it's pretty tight. You get 6 to 8 months back time for shipping and receiving.
Yes, sir.
I guess the HVAC units, the roofing materials, whatever it is. That puts you right there against the wall pretty much for,
Sir.
for this whole thing. Is there something in place where if they don't open by October, is there a specific date in October?
So we've listed through the end of October. There is a little latitude built into that, where the ideal finish of the project should be in October, maybe not the end. There are liquidated damages built into the project, and I know that doesn't always work, but the intent is for someone listening that may not understand, every day that they're late, they have to pay back to the county $500 a day. So that can add up over time. So they are motivated to stay on task and on time. But we have started the process this early to ensure we can order this equipment, because just the lead time on securing, once you pay for this or encumber the money for this equipment, 20 weeks. You're talking 5 to 6 months
Right.
just to get the stuff here.
And that's
So-
what I was worried about, that timeline.
Yes, sir. We started the process to ensure that that can be expedited, so that when we close in May, everything should be on site, ready to go to start the project.
Okay, so I guess in the contract, it was broken down on roof replacement in different sections. I guess you had the admin roof and then you had the total roof replacement. I
Yes,
think
sir.
the admin roof replacement was like 2,700 square feet. And then the total, well, the numbers don't actually add up.
It doesn't speak to the entirety of the roof, sir, I think what you're getting at. So part of the roof was replaced about a year and a half ago. So that part is not being addressed because it's done and it's functioning. But the entire roof, based on the last repair a year and a half ago and everything we're doing in this project, the entire roof will be new and replaced, to include the roof over the natatorium as a part of this project. So the whole roof will be replaced when this project is finished.
And all the HVAC systems, admin side and pool
Yes, sir.
side are being addressed as well.
Everything, to include the roofing, which is a smaller flat roof on the back over the mechanical system. All of the roof is being addressed, aside from what was done a year and a half ago, which we're still considering new. So all of it will be done and addressed when this project is completed.
All right, and the lighting issues, I was told before when they needed to change a light bulb, it was an act of God to have to go through what you had to go through.
Correct,
just
sir.
to
I
change
think
a light
that's what
bulb.
Commissioner Hart was alluding to when he talked about the design.
Correct.
The lights, you would have to drain the pool, build scaffolding to change the light bulb. Not efficient, not effective. Same thing with the socks. A lot of people don't realize the ducts over the pool that are round and blue, that's actually a fabric. That's supposed to be removed and washed every year, which also requires us to drain the pool, build scaffolding to do that. The new system has been designed. We required that a lot of the parts have to be shelf-ready, as Mr. Medea stated in the presentation. Some of those parts, we had a failure of a system part that flooded the top floor of the building a few years back. That piece had to be manufactured, they had to make it, because it didn't exist as shelf-stable, shelf-ready. So we required shelf-ready parts that are readily available, as well as experience in designing a natatorium specifically. So the roof and the HVAC has to support this. The lights, for the lack of a better description, are almost cantilevered. They can be lowered to us on deck to change the bulb as needed. Converting to LED lasts longer, more efficient, more fiscally responsible, and we can actually change them when they go bad. We don't have to call in contractors, drain the pool, and do that type of thing.
All right, I think,
I have one clarification. In 2022, a study was done for replacement of the roof, and that amount was 2.4 million. It's only going to cost us approximately $57,000 to replace the roof now. Is that price difference due to the fact that that was a gable roof and we're not going to stay with that design? And so it's going to be cheaper to do?
It's going to be a Halwell roof, so it still has that translucent effect, that transparency, but it will not be retractable. We have a
Okay.
UV system in place to deal with chloramine removal from the pool. There's not a need to open the roof, and if we have a properly functioning HVAC, we should not only be able to control air temperature better, but we should, and more efficiently, we also can control the water temperature better as well. So the new design should support all of that.
Okay.
And the
is
total
it
project-
It's cheaper.
For clarity, I mean, we had a lot of design and other things funded through this project. So the total project for the entire roof and the entire HVAC has a different price tag. This is just to address what we're speaking about today. But it's roughly $9.5 million in total. So the commissioners in the county are supporting repairing and renovating this facility for the use by its residents and guests. So I want to make sure we put that on the record.
Okay, thank you.
You can continue.
One of our largest amenities offered within the Hall Aquatic Center is our therapy pool, as we just recently discussed. That pool is made at 94 degrees and caters specifically for those who look for therapeutic relief and comforting exercise opportunities. Being that we do not provide any other heated pools at our outdoor locations, some programs and services will have to be paused to include our service agreement with active physical therapy and some water fitness programs. With changes to our services, yet again, we will prioritize early and effective communication to all participants and customers about cancellations, outdoor options, and alternate class offerings. As mentioned before, we want to ensure that all past and future customers of CCPR will still have options with programming, including our already popular swim lesson program and summer swim teams. We are happy to reveal that swim lesson adaptations are being made so that these lessons can continue at both of our outdoor facilities, and our summer swim team will operate as usual at both pools, with the potential for some schedule adjustments along the way. Knowing the temperamental nature of Maryland's weather, we must consider limitations to be applied within these outdoor environments, not to mention the reduced real estate of our outdoor locations. This may impact lesson availability. Moving forward, all swim lesson and swim team families will receive program-specific updates, schedules, and sign-up options well in advance.
So as we conclude this presentation, I think it's important to reflect on the coordinated planning behind the Edward T. Hall Aquatic Center renovation. This project is ultimately rooted in the long-term goal of delivering a safe, efficient, and improved facility for all residents and our guests.
And obviously, we in CCPR understand that communication plays a pivotal role during this time. Ongoing communication with the public and offering outdoor programming, swim pass accommodations, and modified services are important for us to support our users. As we mentioned before, our therapy services will have to pause as no other options are available. While it will be difficult to negate the impact on some other programming, adjustments will make it possible to uphold our swim team, water fitness, and swim lessons.
Does that complete your
That
presentation?
completes our presentation. Any
We've been through a
additional
lot of
questions?
questions. Yeah, I don't know if there's any questions left.
I have none.
I'm okay.
I don't have a question, but, and this has to be done, but I just want to stress with my concerns and the other commissioners' concerns, please keep communication open.
Yes, ma'am.
Please be cognizant of what we're trying to do here and what our swimmers' needs are. Communication is going to be imperative. Let's look at the naval base and earlier swims and
ma'am.
all of that. I mean, we're all going to have to bite the bullet, but let's be cognizant of how important it is for our swim teams
course.
to keep up the momentum and to be able to accomplish what they want
Yes,
to
ma'am.
accomplish.
And we will contact NRC Solomons today.
Okay, thank
Great.
you.
Awesome.
So the message is we want you to do everything you can, but we understand that there's going to be an inconvenience.
Yes.
People are going to have to understand that this facility is 15 years old. It's a major renovation, and it's got to be done. You know, if we delay it it's just got to be done. So,
And this is probably the quickest way to do it, the way it sounds. I mean,
It is.
if you phased it, there's a whole lot of complications and probably extend it longer than where we're at.
And it will cost a lot more money.
if you phase it, you're going to have to shut it down more
Correct.
at the end
Correct.
than
Correct.
doing it now. And as you say, if we had a major event happen before you do this, that's really going to throw everybody out of whack. So,
Yes, sir.
we just ask that you do everything you can to accommodate, but it's going to be inconvenience, and we're going to get phone calls because people want what they want.
Yes, sir.
But it's not a very good environment for the type of equipment that you have in there. So it's probably done pretty good the last 15 years, if you're being honest. Because if you go in there, humidity is 150%.
It's horrible.
And the first design didn't seem to be the best, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It
Yes,
is
sir.
what it is, and we don't have another facility, we just can't shift everything someplace else, so. But as my fellow commissioners have said, as long as we're open, and transparent about communication about what's going on, because not a lot of our projects end on time.
Right.
So everybody should be prepared that it could take longer than you projected. But it sounds like you've tried to do the best you can to keep it on track by getting all the equipment in advance.
Sounds like you have a plan.
Yes, we appreciate that. So is there a motion?
Mr. President, I move that we approve the award of work order number 143818 to Centennial Contractors Enterprise, Inc.
Second.
I have a motion and a second that we approve the award of work order number 143818 to Centennial Contractors Enterprises Incorporated. Is there any discussion on that motion?
None?
Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Next item on the agenda is a public hearing, the Department of Finance and Budget Supplemental Budget Request Fiscal Year 2026 Operating. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning,
Morning.
Commissioners. How are you?
Good.
We're good, thank you.
Good. So to begin with the introduction for all public hearings, there's one public hearing scheduled for today. All hearings were duly advertised and the certificate of publication is made part of the record of each hearing. Citizens were invited to to provide comment on any and all of the hearings after each presentation has concluded. Each of the hearing may have a separate comment period following their brief presentation. Anyone in person must sign in on the sheet next to the attorney to speak. So the memo, the background. So on June 10th, the Board of County Commissioners adopted the fiscal year 2026 budget, which appropriated approximately $385 million for general fund operating expenses. Over the last several months, the Department of Finance and Budget has worked with county departments to identify items that were either underfunded or unfunded in the FY26 adopted budget. The following items have been classified as critical needs and support the case for a supplemental budget. The first item, snow and ice removal. The Department of Public Works Highway Maintenance requires an additional $255,000 to supplement the existing $55,000 appropriation for snow and ice removal. These funds are needed to retain private contractors for winter storm response. Without this funding, the department would be unable to secure contractor availability during snow or ice events. Item number 2. House Bill 352, the teacher retirement pension. Pursuant to House Bill 352, Calvert County is required to contribute $1.65 million to the Maryland Teacher Retirement Pension System in FY 2026. This is a mandated payment established by the state and must be met in full. Item 3, Prudent RX program. In FY 26, the Board of County Commissioners approved the implementation of Prudent RX, a benefit that covers specialty medications not included under the standard prescription plan. Based on the projected participation, Finance and Budget recommends an initial allocation of $75,000. Actual expenditures will be reviewed and refined for FY 27. Mosquito control. The Department of Public Works Mosquito Control Program requires an additional $45,500 to continue operations through FY 26. This request addresses a funding shortfall and ensures uninterrupted service to citizens. Finance and Budget will coordinate with Public Works to ensure adequate recurring funding beginning in FY 27. Animal control. The Department of Public Safety requires an additional $17,500 to complete the lighting package installation for an animal services vehicle previously purchased. Without this, the vehicle cannot be placed into service, and the department does not have sufficient funds within its FY26 operating budget to absorb this cost. The detention center. The detention center requires an additional $750,000 to cover contractual increases in inmate health care provided by WellPath. And finally, public safety requires $200,000 to fund the development of their new master plan. Fiscal impact. So altogether, this budget adjustment is $2,993,000. We recommend funding the supplemental request by increasing the FY 2026 income tax revenue budget. Calvert County has historically adopted conservative revenue estimates to safeguard against year-end shortfalls. Based on recent performance, a revenue increase of $2.9 million is both reasonable and sustainable. Even with the adjustment, revenue estimates remain conservative and will not create a deficit. This approach ensures that the county can responsibly address urgent departmental needs while maintaining prudent financial practices and preserving a conservative margin within projected revenues. The Department of Finance and Budget requests that the Board of County Commissioners conduct a public hearing and, if deemed appropriate, based on the record, close the record, approve and adopt the proposed resolution and budget adjustment BA 2026-000204, increasing the estimated FY 26 income tax revenue budget and the amount of $2,993,000 to support these critical needs. Any questions?
So Mary, if I can just run through this list a little bit.
Absolutely.
So the last couple of years, we've had some pretty tight budgets. So we've been cutting and holding everybody to a pretty tight string.
Yes, sir.
And last year, I believe, if I'm going to go through this list, we had one of the snowiest winters we've had in quite a while. So we were prepared that we might have to make a budget adjustment to cover that additional expenditures, which we have no control over.
Correct.
The House bill for the teacher retirement pension, that's a item that the state pushed down on us at the time of our budget adoption. We didn't know what that was.
Correct.
So we have to come in and make this adjustment based on that push down cost, which is probably going to happen again this coming year. And the RX program is something that we projected participation and that, projection
Yes.
came in a little short. Mosquito control is another program where, it depends on what the conditions are in the summertime. And we budget on an average, and some years it's over, some years it's under.
Correct.
Correct?
Can I interrupt you for a minute?
Sure.
In talking about this for the mosquito control, $32,000 is for chemicals, and I'm sure that fluctuates from year to year. I was really surprised at how much the chemicals cost.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
And the animal control truck, it's one of those things, you estimate what the cost is going to be, and as we've all seen, costs have been escalating pretty quickly, so we were under budget on that item. Detention center, I think the sheriff's here today, I don't know what he's going to say, but I believe they had an issue with their contract and they had to rebid that, and it came in significantly higher than had been in the past. We didn't know that when we developed the budget.
Correct.
And just for the record, could you explain to the people listening, WellPath, what they do for the
The sheriff
detention center?
definitely could speak better to that, but I understand that the bid was,
For,
okay, great.
no, I'm sorry, but
Sheriff.
it just will give people a clarity
Yeah.
for mental health and whatever, the
Morning,
whole-
Sheriff.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, WellPath is something that's been basically inflation. That's the cost of the care and security and protection of the inmates that are at our detention center. Just for one example, the one contract was paying registered nurses $13 an hour. Any nurse that goes through school realizes that's a downfall for them. This increase pays, like I said, safety and security for inmates and gives that medical attention that they do need in high-quality insurance, so.
Thank you.
And the last item on there is the public safety master plan. That actually, there was a project that came in under budget. So while we're making a budget adjustment, that was just some leftover funds from another project.
Yes, sir. All of these items, we unfortunately could not prepare for when projecting the FY 26 budget. So this really is the best fiscally responsible way to do it. We're using FY 26 funds to pay for FY 26 services.
Just before people get up and talk about how horrible we are at budgeting, just want the public to understand that a budget is just a projection.
Correct.
And you base it on historical information. You base it on the information that you have at the time you develop that budget. And when you're cutting budgets, like we've been cutting budgets the last couple of years, we anticipate that things like this, but we're trying to hold our departments on as close a
Correct.
shoestring as we can.
Correct.
And on that well path, Commissioners, I thought that was going to come in a lot higher because we were going through the numbers, my staff, trying to get the best number for the taxpayers out there. And I think that it came in pretty good as what the numbers I was projected seeing out there. So, and what other detention centers do pay for that program.
Correct.
Well, you
just-
take with snow, it's completely unpredictable. I mean, I remember having seasons here where I don't know if JR threw a piece of salt out there once. And then last year, and when you look around now with all those acorns out there everywhere, I'm telling you, it's how it was last year. I think the squirrels are smarter than the weatherman, you know, and
And just to, Commissioner, touch on that, just, being the roads out there, they did do a great job. I mean, it could have been a lot worse if we didn't budget for that with the road conditions.
well, and how many of our folks leave out of this county? And for years, I have heard people say they're just so relieved once they hit that county line because they know our roads are taken care of. They've slipped and slide all over the place. And I mean, that's smart budgeting a lot of times too. When, things come up, you just articulate what happened. I mean, if all of a sudden there's a hole in the road out there, what are we gonna not fix it because, we didn't budget it a year earlier. I mean, things come up. And that's why you have contingency funds and things of that nature. I mean, but you don't spend it till you have to spend it, but you hold it close till you have to. So, like your world is completely unpredictable. I see the texts all the time. I mean, boy, the one we got today, I mean, that's nuts.
It is. I mean, since I've been elected as sheriff in the last 3 years, we've known this was coming down the pipe, and it's my obligation to give the people that are down there the best service that we can provide to them.
But also like the accident today with at the shopping center thing or whatever that was, come through the Verizon thing.
Just had one this morning.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't know when you get up. I mean, and and you guys have done.
That's why I have more gray hair now.
Oh, I'm telling you, but Henry, at least it's still there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll fall out soon. But
Go back and look at my pictures.
I know. That's right.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now, so
Well, I'm sorry.
no.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to say for the public, a budget is a fluid document. It is an anticipation, a prediction based on historical information as to what we are going to need. We knew that we would have some more figures coming down the pike, like what we got from state, and we've absorbed some things from state thus far. A responsible county would not be prepared for this. We're prepared for it. We made the cuts where we knew we need to make them. We're tightening our belts, but we also know we're going to hit bumps along the road. And because it is a fluid document, we anticipate for this. And Mary, I thank you for all you're doing, and Stephen has done a great job, and your staff has done a great job. So thank you for keeping us on track.
Yeah.
I'll second that too. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. We've done a lot of work over the last couple of months, just trying to tighten things up. And if I can give any, positive to this, we are using FY26 funds. We're not using prior year fund balance. We're using FY26 funds for FY26 services. So you can't be much more responsible than that.
Right.
That's true, very true. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President, public comment.
Yes. The floor has been open for public comment on this hearing. Resolution 6-89 was adopted and is available here today to maintain the order and decorum of the governmental process. Those attending in person will be invited to speak first. For those joining virtually, if you wish to speak, please press star 9 to use the raise your hand function.
said it fast 3 times.
Right. Virtual participants will be identified by their screen name or the last 4 digits of their phone number and unmuted one at a time. Speakers will be asked to state their name and address. Speakers who provide comment as individuals will be allocated 2 minutes. Speakers who are designated a representative of a group will be allocated 5 minutes. And there is one speaker that has signed up, Mr. Cormier.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Joseph Cormier. I'm at 9201 Sam Owings Place in Owings, Maryland. I'll be speaking on behalf of myself today. First, I want to thank you. You've answered a lot of my questions with your questions this morning. My comment would be it would be helpful to have more of that background when these things come out, because for the general public, we understand that the budget happens and that's the money. And, you know, I know the Good Idea Ferries in Annapolis said the House bill came down, you're gonna pay $1 million for teacher retirement. That's just something you gotta do. But the monies for the Public Works for snow and ice removal, seeing that we budgeted 55,000 and now you want another 255 was a shock to someone who didn't understand how that came to be. So I wish there was more background on that. And for the sheriff's office to need $750,000 for nurses, I get it. We want everyone to have the health care. But if the school system came to you and said, oops, we need another $1 million because we didn't budget for something, I don't feel like you would have the same attitude as you're having for, you know, these budgets are fluid. So I appreciate all the hard work that the staff are doing to put these budgets together, but I wish there was more background when you put out these notices. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Was
Is
there anyone
anybody
online?
online?
Yep, looking right now. So we do have one caller. Last four digits are 8700. Please unmute yourself at this time. Mayor. No, we're good.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I move that we close the record and adopt and enact the resolution approving Budget Amendment BA 2026-000204.
Have a motion and a second that we close the record, adopt, and enact the resolution approving budget amendment BA 2026-000204. Is there any discussion on that motion?
None.
Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. So, Mary, I do want to, how long have you been with us?
A little over a year.
And for the public, Mary is amazing,
Thank you.
absolutely amazing.
Yes.
She's done a tremendous job in the short period of time she's been with us. So I publicly, on behalf of the rest of us, want to thank you
Thank you.
for everything
I
you're doing.
agree.
Thank you. I enjoy working for CCG.
And I love numbers, and I love like being able to, when I first got here, was able to do a lot of that, and you've brought a lot of that back, you know, of being able to boom, boom on that, and it just makes it easier, because like I say, it fluctuates and it moves, and,
Absolutely.
you know, so.
I'm excited about the FY27 budget cycle.
I'm
We have
glad
a-
you are.
Yeah.
Good.
We have a lot of things in place, you
Good.
know, working with departments, couple times a week throughout the month of October, getting ready. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
We're going to see more of you.
Yes, absolutely.
We're
Thank
doing
you,
great
guys.
work.
Oh,
So we wanna
thank you.
Thank you.
I
Sheriff,
appreciate
how's the
it.
sheriff's office these days?
We're good. It's like you said, it's something's different every morning. We have a great staff. We have great deputies. We just hosted the Sheriff Association meeting down at the clubhouse. That staff there did phenomenal. And some of the problems that we deal with, you know, we don't have problems like most people do, but we do have our own problems that we deal with, I think, very well. And all the sheriffs in the state are working hard for every one of our, for the entire state. So we're moving forward, and I think our county is awesome.
You guys do a fantastic job, fantastic
Yeah.
job.
And we still enforce the law here, so.
And that's right.
Sure.
And people appreciate that. I mean, there's always going to be I talk to so many people all the time, and they are so thankful of that. You know,
Oh, yes.
they want to live in a community where laws matter.
Correct.
You know, and where it's safe to walk down the street.
As
and go
long
to
as
the
I'm
grocery
here, we're going to
stores.
continue to do that, so.
That's right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you
Good
so
job.
much.
Have a wonderful day.
Enjoy the
Thank you.
weather.
Thank you.
I believe that brings us to public comment.
Yes, good morning. To maintain decorum, the Board of County Commissioners adheres to established procedural rules first adopted in 1989 that are applied in a viewpoint-neutral way only to genuinely disruptive or threatening behavior. As an invited speaker addressing topics pertaining to county government, please observe the following guidelines. All remarks and conduct must be respectful and refrain from personal attacks, inflammatory language, or disruptive behavior. Prior to commencing your remark, please state your full name for the record. Individual speakers are allocated 2 minutes. Designated representatives speaking on behalf of an organization or group are allotted 5 minutes. Individuals seeking to influence governmental decisions are categorized as lobbyists and are required to register with the Ethics Commission prior to their engagement with the board.
Hey, good morning, Commissioners. Joe Cormier. Last night I went to the Owings Town Center public hearing. So first I want to say thank you to Grace Brethren for hosting that, to the Calvert broadcast folks for doing a great job getting it together, and Director Brinkley and all his staff who worked late putting that together. There's about 50, 60 of us up there in Owings up there. It would have been nice if there was a commissioner there, but I know you guys are super busy. For the most part, it seems like the master plan, planning and zoning lines were just kind of drawn on that map over, historic farms and ancient forest growth and Hall Creek swamp. And I don't know why planning and zoning is trying to expand that town center into that area. I know Dashin wants to go from 4 pumps to 20 pumps and build a great thing, but the Owings Town Center, we already have vacant and blighted properties in the actual town center now that could need some rehab before we expand to build something new. The medical center that was supposed to be a Royal Farms back in 2019, I think, is sitting there vacant, just having asphalt, sucking up the rain and dumping it out. You've got the SMO site that's got to be a hazardous waste site that's just sitting there that I don't think anyone's ever going to be able to use again. You've got the bank that's been a bank 4 different times and it's been sitting vacant. So I just hope that you guys talk planning and zoning. We don't need to expand the Owings Town Center any further. 778 doesn't need any more traffic. Chesapeake Beach doesn't need any more traffic. We need traffic calming. It shouldn't be 55 going on 80 down there at dead ends into Mount Harmony and the beaches. We can't affect the growth in the beaches. I get that, but every time they build something, there's more traffic coming through Owings. And I hope that as we continue this 18 to 24 month process, that we all agree that Owings doesn't need to expand in that direction. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
My name is Stacy Lagana, and I serve as president of the Calvert Aquatics Club, and I'm here today to speak on their behalf. Their address is 136 Stairs Beach Road, Prince Frederick, Maryland. First, I want to thank you for the discussion and clarification provided this morning. Fortunately, I've been able to mark a lot of things off my statement and my list, so I appreciate that.
That's good.
I also want to thank Brandon and Zach and Bob for their cooperation. We enjoy working with them and commend them for their efforts on this. I do want to share with you some things from my original statement, just to take the opportunity to share with you some things about our club and why we had these concerns. Calvert Aquatics Club is a nonprofit club and has 160 swimmers aged 6 to 18. Over 90% of our swimmers are Calvert County residents. We have athletes competing at the local, state, and national levels, and we are excited to celebrate our 10th year as part of this wonderful community. In the 2024-2025 season, CAC dedicated $7,000 of swimmer tuition to cover local high school athletes who could not afford to pay. If a swimmer is willing to put forth the effort, we will find a way to put them in the water. CAC has used the Hall Aquatic Center for the past 10 years. We've built a partnership with the staff. We've enjoyed our team approach to aquatics in our community. We have hired your staff as our coaches. Our swimmers have become your lifeguards and swim lesson instructors. The swimming championships that our high schools have brought home to Calvert County are largely thanks to the year-round training that we provide for our athletes. In 2024, the Northern High girls were the first team from Southern Maryland to win the Maryland Public Secondary Schools Athletic Association Championships, a big deal for our community. Let me be clear, we fully support the renovation, and no flexibility is necessary. It is essential that these renovations happen, and we are excited to see them finally coming to fruition. But I want to stress to you the impact that this will leave on our 160 swimmers. Swimming isn't just exercise, it's a lifestyle. These kids are together 3 to 4 hours a day, 6 days a week, training, competing, and traveling as a team. The pool is their place of comfort, identity, and family. Removing swimming doesn't just mean finding another activity. It means ripping apart the daily relationships and support systems that keep these kids grounded, motivated, and connected to positive influences. Studies show that that just 4 weeks out of the water can decrease a swimmer's time by 3.8%. In a sport where a state championship spot or college scholarship can hinge on 0.2 of a second, that decline can be catastrophic. So CAC hosts 4 Maryland swimming meets that are sanctioned each year at Hall Aquatic Center. These are planned in advance, and sanctioning is governed by Maryland Swimming, which is the USA swimming body for the entire state. And Maryland sanctioning is a privilege, not a right, and that clubs that fail to honor their sanctioned meets risk future loss of sanctioned privileges. If CAC forfeits 2 meets in a row during this closure, which is a real risk, the June meet is already lost, and I would say November is probably in jeopardy, the penalty is not just losing these meets, but potentially our ability to host any future meets. Over 2 seasons, when factoring forfeited sanctioning, we're looking at over $120,000 in lost net income. That revenue is not profit, it is what funds coaching salaries, equipment, and swimmer development. Each of these meets hosted at Hall Aquatic Center brings over 600 swimmers, not only from Maryland but adjoining states, to pack our local hotels, eat at our restaurants, and patronize other local businesses. Importantly, the January meet is not just a CAC event. It is a Maryland Swimming statewide, sanctioned and scheduled by the governing body of the entire state of Maryland. This meet, which is held at HAC, is only one of 2 sites statewide where swimmers get a chance to qualify for state championships. This is a stepping stone for national level meets. Teams all across Maryland travel to Hall Aquatic Center for this meet. Losing HAC as a host site means Maryland Swimming may permanently reassign this meet to another county, stripping Calvert of both prestige and future opportunities. So as the club, we are asking you to please take any measures necessary to minimize the duration of the closure. Maybe you could consider a dome-like structure for King's Landing or Cove Point, similar to the one used at Great Mills Pool in St. Mary's. This would allow all patrons to use the outdoor facility throughout the entire proposed closure and assist in the spring and fall months. An expansion in hours, as discussed, is a welcome solution. It is imperative that the facility be open for a swim meet on November 6th through 8th, 2026. CAC understands that we will need to be flexible, and we are requesting to be part of the scheduling of lane space as valued as a paying tenant and a staple in the community, and not pushed to the side and asked to adapt our schedule after all other programs are scheduled. We need you to understand that including CAC is not just a scheduling choice, it is a decision that jeopardizes our statewide reputation with Maryland Swimming. So I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Coraline Bote. My daughter is a swimmer on CAC. And when she was 5, we were at a swimming party, and she said, "Look, Mom, I can jump in the deep end." She comes out okay. Before I could work through the process of, my 5-year-old can't swim, how's she gonna jump in the deep end? She's in the deep end. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and her head pops up. She jumped in right next to the ladder, so she pulled herself right back up. But we went right home and scheduled some lessons through CC Parks and Rec. And they're fantastic. I have no doubt they have saved lives. They've probably saved my daughter's. But what's more, they taught her to love swimming. And so she went from CCPR swimming to swimming for CAC. And the difference to us was she swam on the right side of the pool one night and the left side of the pool the next night. But to us and to the members of CAC, this is really a continuum. This isn't something separate from Parks and Rec, even though we have separate organizations. Our name is not a mistake. We are Calvert Aquatics Club. We're not the Swimming Crabs or something else. Everybody knows where we're from. Our kids represent this community and this facility with pride, and so do our families. So my 2 asks for you today are, please find every way you can to minimize the time this facility is closed, and everything you can to maximize the time that other facilities are available. By USA Swimming rules, we cannot have kids in the water if the water is less than 78 degrees. That's gonna be very hard in May, September, and October. And this isn't just our kids, this is the kids learning to swim in swimming lessons and saving lives, and the older adults who need this facility for activity as well. My second ask is, CAC, we see ourselves as a partner in this community and a great representative at the state, national, and college levels. We would like to partner with the community, with Calvert Parks and Rec and the Aquatics Division. And quite honestly, telling us that everything goes above us does not show us that that partnership is reciprocated. We're stronger together, and I hope that we can do that together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Commissioners. My name is Ed Cullen. I'm the head coach at Calvert Aquatics Club. I wanted to just thank you guys for kind of hearing us out as this is close to our hearts as much as it's close to the business that we run. We do this for the kids. I do this for the kids. This is my second year here in this position, and the growth that we have had over the last 14 months, 12 months has been astounding. When I got here, we were roughly around 120 kids, and now, as you heard, we're at 160. So this community is starting to really buy into swimming, and I just wanted to thank you guys for hearing us and understanding that footprint that we have, and I would like to invite you guys anytime you want to come on deck, see what we're about, come see the sport of swimming and see how passionate these kids are and what they do every day. It will absolutely astound you. So thank you again for your time.
Thank you.
There is nobody online.
Thank you. So that brings us to Commissioner reports. Commissioner Cox.
Thank you, Mr. President. Please keep in your prayers the Hall family who lost a loved one, Guy Hall, 100 years old, and I can always remember when he shook your hand, he shook your hand 2 times the size of mine. But yeah, so please keep them in your prayers. And today's a great day with a new grandchild coming into this world. So,
Congratulations.
Wonderful.
Commissioner Hart.
Nothing today, Mr. President.
Thank you. Commissioner Brasso.
Okay, on October 15th, Administrator Turner and Director Brinkley, we met with realtors and builders. We have been having ongoing meetings to try to streamline, make things easier for people applying for permits, and they've been very happy. We're going to get together again with them in January, give them a tour of the building, and by then, the reorg of planning and zoning should be finished. I attended on October 16th Dunkirk Med Spa ribbon cutting, and Northern High School won their SMAC High School Golf Championship, so congratulations to all the golfers at Northern. And Kat Poff, who works in TS for us, she was nominated as Cyber Woman of the Year, and she placed second place, and so congratulations to Kat. Had a lot of constituents meetings again. And I do want to clarify one thing. We work very closely with the Board of Education, and they do their budgeting much like we do, knowing that it's a fluid document and that some things may come up that are unforeseen, and they add safety nets into theirs. But for the public, don't ever think if the Board of Education had a shortfall that your county commissioners wouldn't be there for them, because first and foremost are our teachers and our students. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Arlen.
So on the 11th was Patuxentine Appreciation Days. The weather held out. There was, I don't know how many kids. I think she said they built 800 small boats. If you've never been to Patuxentine Appreciation Days, they have a tent and they have scrap lumber from different lumber yards throughout the county, and kids come up with all kinds of creations of their own, of little model boats. But it was very well attended. There was numerous exhibits. On the 15th, Jim Schaefer and Southern Maryland Builders Association worked with the CTA, and they had a walkthrough. It was neat. They had everything from the architect to the lumber yard that they buy their materials from, trusses from, electricians, plumbers, and they did it at the new development just south of Sixes Road on their right. But Mr. Harvey's CTA class was there, and they had 2 groups come in, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and all the people there were excited. That's, that hopefully they can build some opportunities for those kids coming out of high school, coming out of CTA program, and get them involved in the building trades. And I believe one other day, the same group of kids, 2 different groups, went to the St. Leonard Water Tower project to learn about the foundation masonry on that and the build out on it. So it's giving the kids a lot of opportunities, again, through CTA, and thanks Schaefer Homes and Southern Maryland Builders for putting that together. On the 16th, ribbon cutting at Paul's and Relax with Economic Development. Cheyenne and Alyssa are very excited to have their new business open. Took Jetty there for her nails and her bath yesterday.
So I don't think
And she's got to get used to it. She was a little nervous. She didn't want to. She wasn't sure how to take it. But on a serious note, Cheyenne and Alyssa were great, and it's right up on the hill behind Outback, between John's and next to the Calvert Hospice shop. But congratulations to them on their opening of their store.
Thank you. So I've been out of town most of the time since the last time we met, visiting the great state of Colorado. If you've never been to Colorado, you should go there and visit. It's absolutely beautiful. And as was mentioned, we've been doing a lot of ribbon cuttings in the last couple months. I want to thank Economic Development for all they do to help our businesses get started. But it's a good sign when you see people that want to come in and open up a business in your community. You know, we hear a lot about negatives most of the time, but it's a really good sign to see young entrepreneurs opening up storefronts that have the optimism and hope. And so it is fun doing ribbon cuttings. Cousin Stacy, you know, when that presentation was going on, a bubble popped up in my head for hunting down, but I didn't know if the pool was available or suited for that. So I promise you all, we're going to do everything we can. It's just an indoor pool is one of those facilities. It's just not easy to duplicate. It's just tough. And I hope that you all understand through this conversation we had today, we do understand how important it is to you all, but that facility has got to be overhauled. We get the emails all the time how horrible it is in there and how horrid the conditions are. It's got to be fixed. We spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to reduce the impacts. Unfortunately, it's just, this seems to be the best way, is to just shut it down for 6 months and get all that done. Because if we spread it out, it's just shut down, spread out over 2 years. We didn't want to do that. But we do take serious, you know, your concerns, I promise you that. And we'll see what we can do about addressing your concerns for the best. Absolutely. And I guess that's all I have. I don't have a new grandchild coming. But I did kill a really nice elk while I was on vacation.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
They are gigantic.
Yes, they are. You have a motion for me?
I do. I move to recess to executive session pursuant to general provisions article section 3-305B3 to consider the acquisition of real property for a public purpose and matters directly related thereto, and B8 to consult with staff, consultants, or other individuals about pending or potential litigation.
Second. I have a motion and a second that we go into exec session. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And yesterday we drove through Vail Peak in Colorado. Snowstorm. 6 inches of snow on the ground.
Wow.
It's beautiful. You all have a great day.
Thank you.